Hello everyone, my name is Saksham Dikshit and this is my channel Pentest Diaries. Today I'll make another video on the same series of lazy programming series, and in this video itself we'll try to cover a lot of concept. So we are about to close soon, like most probably in next 1 or 2 weeks we are closing this. Like I'll try my best to conclude the whole series by next week itself. So whatever the lectures are remaining one, these are like those are related to that with the exercise itself, or most of one of the project will just try to get it covered in the last phase itself. So most of the concepts already covered up, so I'll try my best to conclude so many things in this video so that we'll try to cover all the things, and individually I'll taking the exercises or the project itself. So I don't want to club multiple exercises at the same time. That was the reason I concept I'll take it in one video itself, but exercise I'll take it separately for each and every exercise itself. Okay, so going further with that, if we're talking about like a function caching in Python itself, that's one of the concepts which we have to discuss about it. Then after that we have to go to the next section, that handling exception. That is most important. Like in couple of cases we are getting the error, like we don't have any appropriate stuff, so error handling is not appropriately we get it defined in our code itself. So get it done itself, we will do it with a try, except, else, and finally what are these concepts itself, we'll just try to get it covered in this video itself with a code snippet, anything I'll try to get it covered. Okay, so you can able to understand with well, like these are not a so much difficult concept, these are the small concept, you're already aware about most of the stuff, but this is just going in an advanced level itself where you can utilize it. Like when you're seeing the code as a security professional, or you're reviewing the code, or you're making the code, at that time if you're reviewing it, definitely you should know these things very well, and if you're writing it and you want to optimize the code, you will definitely have to utilize these things. That was the reason knowing Python is one of the things, but knowing the actual stuff, where exactly we have to utilize it, and what is the like everything, every concept required a proper place. Like at some places you required something to be get utilized, at some place you required some, not everywhere you have to utilize the same thing. Okay, like take example, if you have to make a loop itself, it's not like everywhere you have to run the for itself, somewhere you have to use a while also, so that's depend on it situation itself. That's one of the thing, I'll just try to get it covered in multiple zones itself, multiple concepts, so that you can able to understand where exactly you have to utilize these things. Okay, going further with that, now after that we have to talk about coroutines in Python. That is also one of the concept for it. This is a small concept, I'm not giving much time. I've already put it the content, you can able to read that, but I'll just make you understand with the concept, what actually the concept behind it. And this is a major portion, that is the OS module itself, which we have utilized couple of pieces itself in the previous lecture. I'm thinking about it, but if we are not, then it's okay. Like we try to cover this and what exactly the functionality we are getting inside of this OS module, so that I'll try to get it covered in multiple zones itself. So that's all about the stuff. Let me start with the first topic, which we're talking about, the caching in case of Python itself. What's the concept behind it, why we require the caching? Like everywhere we're talking about the caching itself. So function caching is one of the thing in Python, is a benefit for it. I will tell you like how exactly is it. Take example, you're running an operation itself, and at that time whatever that, so whatever the output you're getting on your screen, you can cache that, and then later phase itself, if the same input it's coming once again to this function, then at that time instead of run the same operation once again, you already have a stored cache over there, so you can get that result out of it. So that is the main purpose behind the function caching. So we will reduce the computation power over there, so we do not want to utilize the computation power again and again just to get the same result. So once we get the result, it will get stored, and then after that when we run that code once again with the same values, same inputs, and in that case instead of running that same code once again itself get the same output, we can use that with the condition itself. We just try to get identify whether it's the same input, then we have to give the same output which you have already stored it. That exactly be a concept behind a function caching. Okay, now I'll read the content for you. In Python you can implement a function caching using a various technique. Caching helps to store the results of expensive function calls and retrieve them when same input occurs again, thereby saving a computation power. Here are a few common ways to implement the function caching in Python using a dictionary. I can say that using a functool.lru underscore cache. This is also one of the thing which we have to use it, and memorization is also one of the thing. So these are the three things which we have to utilize it, by which we can conduct the Python caching function itself. So function caching we talk about in the Python, we have to get it conducted using these three sections itself. So in case of dictionary, we can say you can use a dictionary to store the results of function calls with respective arguments as keys itself. So whatever that result as a keys you can get as a result, and we are just making a pointer over there itself. So this for this key itself we are putting the results, so keys and the values to be get it mapped appropriately. So whenever we are getting the same input, in that case we are mapping the same output as a value itself, which we have already stored in a dictionary. This is one of the concept. Talking about the next one, over there also the Python standard library as a decorator itself, which implement a least recent use caching mechanism itself. So that's one of the thing. Other than that, a memorization, this is a technique where you can store computed result in a function store itself. So that's also one of the thing. Instead of using directly the dictionary itself, you can store it in the function also. Okay, that's one of the concept. This is the actual code behind it, how exactly we can conduct that and how exactly we can get the output for it. And over here it's I will explain you, like when we're going for the practical zone, definitely I will try my best to get explaining about it, how exactly we get the output and how it is differentiate, like at the time of the same input and get the same output. Now going further with that, if I talk about the handling exception, so this is most important. Like couple of cases you will say, like when we run some operations, definitely like in couple of cases our condition is not appropriate, we are not getting the appropriate output. So couple of cases we are getting the error. To overcome that error itself, we are either going for the exception itself, we are defining some values over there itself, and that to be get it reflected for the exception. Like whenever there is this condition is over there itself, we will put some error that's coming under the category of the exception itself along with the try. If we do not want that to be get it executed, everything goes well, we want to go it further with that, print some output, then else condition will be get utilized over there itself. And if we want every time some statement will be get utilized, that will be coming into the category of the final. So finally, else, except, and the try, these are the four things which we want to try to get it covered in this exception section itself. So let me go through it. In Python, the try, except, else, and finally box provide a powerful mechanism for handling the exceptions and executing clean up code. So like instead of making a code where you are getting so many errors over there itself, you're not getting the appropriate output, then just to overcome that problem itself, just to get the clean up code itself, we are utilizing these concepts in our code, so that we can optimize our code, we can get the better results when you are running it. And even if any error will be get generated over there itself, we have error handling appropriate be in place using these concepts. Going further with that, if we talk about the try block. So what's a try block? So the try block is used to wrap the code that might raise an exception. Any code within the block that raises an exception will be caught by the subsequent except block itself. So taking example, if any error will be get it generated in case of try, then in that case it's directly be going to the except section itself, and whatever the things we are defining over there itself in case of except, like take example, if I'm just mentioning over there itself, like as per that code which you can see on the screen over here itself, if we try to divide 10 by 0, then in that case definitely we know like a 0 division error we will get it. Then in that case the second condition except will be get a trigger over there itself, and that will be get it run. Okay, so that is the thing. Like if a person is running with this code, instead of a longer some unwanted type of general type of stuff which we are getting on our screen as an error, we will just print it directly over there. So cannot divide by a 0 itself. The 10 cannot be divided by a 0. That was the reason by the user can be able to understand, okay, this is not feasible. Now going to the next section, that is the except block. So in case of except block, cached exceptions raised in the corresponding try block, and you can specify a type of exceptions you want to catch, or catch all the exceptions using a generic except block. So in the first case, like we are getting accept over there, so with the proper condition, like if it's not coming and like if it's not get divided by the zero, then in that case that will be get a trigger. But if we're talking about the next case where even if it's not, but the thing is that there is another condition which is not coming under both the things, like a try except is not fulfilling both the conditions. In that case, we go for the except once again, where all the generic errors will be get it covered and we get the appropriate output on our screen. Like we have to define one of the statement and that will be get a trigger. Once that condition will be get a trigger, if both the upper one is not get be a part of it, like which we are looking for it, we are not getting it with these two conditions with a try or except, then in that case we are going for the second except itself, which is cover everything over there itself instead of the only the zero one. Now talking about the else block. So the else block is executed if no exceptions are raised. So taking example, if try condition is run and everything goes well, exception will raise only when the try condition is not fulfilled. We are not getting a success in case of try, then only we are generating some error, and at the time only the except condition will be triggered. Take example, in case of try, everything goes well, so in that case except condition will not trigger and the else condition will be get a trigger, and whatever the stuffs you are mentioning inside of it, you will get that output over here itself. So even the output you can get a trigger, the statement you can get a print. So that is the thing which I'm just mentioning in this else one. Now talking about the finally block. So in case of finally block, this is one of the go-to one. Like this will always work. Either except will trigger, try will not work, except will trigger, then also the finally will work, even try will work, else will trigger, and the finally will still work. So finally is always be working. If you are defining it over there as a condition, this will always be working. This will always be get a trigger in both the condition, even if the except is running or even the else is running. Okay, that is the concept behind the finally. So finally block is always executed regardless of whether an exception occurs or not. So that's one of the thing. Now, if we're talking about the else and finally be together itself, that's what we have already discussed about it, how exactly will work. Like in both the cases, except and the finally will also work, else finally will also work, so both the conditions over there itself. Now this is a code for it which we cover in the practical section, and now going to the next section, that is a coroutine in Python. So in case of coroutine in Python, what exactly we have to get it achieved with this? So I'm not reading the whole funda behind it. This is just a small concept, not a big. I put it a lot of content over here itself just to make you understand if you're not able to understand, but I'll make you understand with a smaller statement what exactly is it, and then I'll move to the next section, that's the OS module. So if I talk about like what exactly a coroutine is it. So coroutine is one of the thing where we wanted whenever the function is get trigger and we want some statement to be get it hold, and after that whole time it will get triggered. So that is the situation over there. So we are using a await, and the keywords we have to utilize it over there. So there is one of the library async neo. It's a library, we have to use it in this case just to get this run. So at the time when we're defining a function, we have to use a async, and inside of that when we're defining it a function over there itself, so at the time inside of the function we are defining await, whatever the command we wanted to be await itself, the response will be get it wait, and then after that we get the result, and the rest commands will be get a trigger. So it totally depend on the async and await and the library which I have mentioned it. So inside of the code also you can able to see this is the code. I will explain you in at the time of the practical also, but this is the code, this is the library, we have to use it for this. And this at the time of defining the functions, we simply have to mention an async over itself, as we want that the command present over here itself to be get it sleep for 10 minutes. So instead of just get it define over here itself asleep, and we have to mention a wait also, so that it will run it in such a way and wait for 10 to 2 minutes or 2 seconds itself. So after 2 seconds it will get trigger the next running command itself, and the rest stuff will be like whatever the defined content over there itself, it will get triggered automatically. Okay, so that's the concept behind this. Okay, I'm not going in reading the content once again for you. This is the most interesting one which I just want to invest a time on it. So OS module in Python provides a platform independent ways of interacting with a operating system. It allows you to perform various operating related tasks such as navigating the file system, manipulating environment variables, and executing file commands, system commands itself. So OS module is one of the module which you can utilize inside of the Python code, and when you want to perform some actions, like you wanted to retrieve some contact. Take example as a hacker point of view. If you're trying to make one script where you just want to do the enumeration for the target machine, you already get the IP address. Now you wanted to do the enumeration just firing few commands. So that command, to get it execute in your script, or if you are just transferring, you are capable enough to transfer that file and want it to be get it executed at the client or at the victim end, then at that time these commands you have to be get it mentioned inside of the script. So this will be backed by the OS module itself, and once we are utilizing the OS module, these commands will get results from the target server itself. So if I run it on a victim system, definitely the output will get restored in one of the file as per our need itself. We can do that, and by that way we can get the details about it, what type of operating system is it utilized, what's the host name over there itself, what are the privileges, everything. Even we can get the details about system info also, like whether this old hardware, or I can say that anything related, like when the system password is getting expire, is there any how many admins is present on the system, everything you can get it with this. So OS module is one of the core module, I can say that, which can utilize it just to do the stuffs for a system level, just to gather the details about the environment related, manipulating the stuffs, all those things we can do it with using this OS module in Python. Now these are the few subsections for it which you can use it as per your need. So if I talk about the file and the directory operations, this is one of the thing where we using this syntax itself, you can either create the file or you can check whether this already present or not. You can see over here itself, this by this command I'm just trying to get it check whether this file is already present or not. If it's already present, I will print this line, whatever the thing I have mentioned over here itself. Now this is a statement where I'm just trying to create one of the directory. Over here itself, I'll try to list everything present inside of it. I'll just try to get it print over there. It's on my screen. Now talking about the environment variable, in case of environment variable, we just try to check like the whole path. Like in couple of cases, if anyone has worked on a Windows system, like definitely you have worked on a Windows system itself. Like so, in that case, just to get it retrieve the environment path itself, you can get that system path itself and even the path which is present on the system. Like normally the path related to that, by this way, so you can retrieve it like what exactly the username over there. So like which user right now with the system, or I can say that a user is utilizing that system itself, we can get the details about that system path. So couple of cases, if it's administrator, definitely we can get that details about it. So now defining a new environment path, that's also another thing. Like we can define, like using the commands itself, we can define a new path also over there itself inside of the environment. Process is one of the thing, like whatever tools, what type of applications are running on a system itself, just to run this command process management itself, by which we can get the details about it and how much is consuming. Like example, if any unwanted software is running on it which is vulnerable, one version is also vulnerable, then definitely instead of trying to attempt with other things itself, we can use the same thing and get it RC go for. Like the example, if it's a vulnerable software, that person is utilizing it, and if that tool is having a known RC is available in the, like known exploit is available in the market itself, we can utilize the exploit directly just to get that exploit and get the control of the system itself. So these are one of the things which we can utilize. Like I'm just giving from the attacker point of view right now. In this case, it's like basically we are utilizing that. Even as a SOC point of view, even as a case that as a blue teamer point of view, just to check the status and everything up to date itself, we can do these things. We can get that, like if at any point of time the person is complaining like my system is running slow. So to get the details about it, like instead of going to a system directly asking for details, you just simply have to share the script with that person. That person will share the output with you and you can analyze it, run the script, get the output. Like in couple of cases, most of the time, like previously that will happen, like the person are not taking directly control of the system itself, and at the time they will share the script, they ask the person to run the script, get the output and share that, upload that on the appropriate zones itself. Now we have so many tools available in the market, we don't have to do the same things, but like that is one of the way by which we can do it manually also, and by another way we can do the analysis of it. Now on almost most of the tools are available in the market itself, which is a lot information we are getting instead of running these scripts. Platform information is also one of the things which you get, like what type of host name is it, what type of operating system, everything will get it with this platform information itself. Now talking about the file path manipulation itself, we can manipulate the full path itself, manipulation over there itself, that's coming under the category of it, and we can perform these actions using the OS module. Now this is the actual code and we have reached to the last part of it. So now I'll go to the practical section. I'll just explain you. I think these are, I think I hardly have five. Yeah, I have five codes just to make you understand about it. I will go one by one, try my best to make you understand with that. And if you face any issue, just go through the video once again. Even the content which I'm providing from my side, everything is explained over there itself in that doc file also. You can go through it. Still you're facing issue, you're not able to understand, let me know about it in the comment section of this video. So going further with the first section that we are talking about, the function caching, how exactly will work. Okay, so what we have to do, we simply have to define one of the function over here itself and with the name cached function. Over here itself I'm just passing the function. So instead of passing a variable, I'm just passing a function itself. From the function which I'm defining outside this function, I'm just passing that function inside of this function. Okay, now by default this is completely blank. We are not storing anything. That was the reason I'm defining as a blank itself. Now after that I'm going inside of it and I'm just defining one more function inside of it, where what exactly the input we are getting it, that to be get it cached and that to be get it stored and that to be get it written and that to be get it written, we are getting it, and over here itself we are returning it. So that to be get it stored and we get the result over there itself, whatever the result we are looking for it. Okay, so this is the part of the first, I can say that function. Now going to the another function where we are actually doing the stuff, like this is where we are storing it. This is the only function we are storing it, but this is the function where we are actually doing the operation which we are looking for it. So this is the operation where we are passing the values and whatever the operation we wanted to be get it conducted, that to be get it done. Now the output of this to be get it, like when we are making this object, and over here itself you can see like the function name I'm just defining over itself, and I just wanted the add function to be get it passed. So that was the reason I'm just telling you, like instead of defining or passing a variable, I'm passing a function. So over here itself I'm just defining a add over here itself, and the function will be get it passed and that to be get it transfer. So whatever the value we are getting inside of it, that to be get it stored inside of the cached add. Now when I'm running this, I'm just passing two values over here itself, 3 and 4, and these two values to be get it transferred to the add, will calculate the stuffs, get it, return it back. Then this value will be get it passed to cache function to be get it stored. And if next time the person are using the same thing, take example in this case itself I'm running the same command once again. So first time this will be get it printed and run the code. So first time this will be get it printed normally, like take example the stuff to be calculated and we get the result, but next time this result is not like, this is not directly be going to the same add once again. No, this will not. The next time it will go to directly to this function. Instead of calculating once again, it will go to the first function over here itself, just to get it past those variables, get identify, yeah, these are the parameters and we already have the results for it, and from this section we are returning the value and we get the result. So instead of running the same operations again and again, we can save time and save the computation power also. So we are getting the same result instead of running the operation second time. Okay, this is first code. Now talking about the next code, that is a code number 2. So over here itself it's bit clear to you at the time of the when I'm defining the concept behind it. So try is where we are doing the operations over there itself. If everything goes well, then in that case else will be get a trigger and we get the result over here itself. Whatever the output we are getting, we get it reflected over here itself, and after the else, the finally will be get a trigger. So the all the time when the try will be fulfilled, there is no error I'm getting it, else will be get a trigger. After the try, then the finally will be get a trigger. Now if I talk about anything as error we are generating over here in case of try, then the except will be get a trigger and we get this to be on our screen. Once we done with this, then the finally will be get a trigger. So try, except, finally, and try, else, finally. So these are the scenarios, these are two scenarios which we can see all the cases. And over here itself you can see we are passing the values for it for both the section, and we can see like what actually the output we can get it. So in first case it's bit clear about it, we get the output. So the try will get a trigger, we get the output as 5, and that output 5 will be get it printed in else condition, and the finally will be get it printed. But in case of another one, we can see like over here itself we are getting the error, and the except will be get a trigger, cannot divide by 0, and the finally will be get a trigger. Okay, this is the flow of it. If you run it, you can see that. Okay, perfect. Now what I'll do, I'll go to the next code. So this is the third code. So now this is the third code where I just want to make you understand with await one, async one, and this is the library which we have discussed about it. The concept is a bit clear about it. Whenever we want it, there is a pause between the output of the next statement. Like before printing the statement itself, we wanted to be a pause in between of it. Pause in the context like to be asleep. Then after that, the next statement will be get printed. We are utilizing a await, async. Like when you're defining the function, we have to use a async, so that inside of that function itself, we are defining a await, and by which this next statement will be get it delayed, and once that duration will be get it fulfilled, then only the next statement will be get a trigger and we get the complete output. If I'll just run this, you can able to see I'm waiting. Once the 2 seconds is completed, then only both the statements will be get it printed on a screen. So this is the functionality of it. Okay. Now going to the last section. This is most important, and this will might take a lot of time for us. I'll try my best to get it explaining about it. So what exactly is happening over here itself, we'll just try to see whether this file is present over there or not. Like when I'm running this is one of the library which we have to import it. Like when we are making any code and we wanted OS module to be get utilized, definitely we have to run this import OS first on the top. Then after that, what we have to do with this, we are putting one of the if and else condition over here itself. With the if condition, we want to check whether the my file name is present in that present section where we are executing the code or not. If it's not, then in that case this will like file if it's there, then if condition will be fulfilled and this will be get printed. If it's not, then definitely the else condition will be get it fulfilled. Now to create a new library, like as I told you about, this is just all about the operation itself. So whatever the things we want to get it do over there itself on our system, on a victim itself, so we can do that. So if we want to create one of the directory over there itself using this syntax, we can create that. Going further with that, if we want to list all the file present in that directory, we can do that using this. Going further with that, if we want to get the value of the environment variable, we can use this syntax and we can get the result. Like these are the syntax which I'm already providing you over there. So there's nothing like I just have to explain you the same thing again. This is a straightforward syntax which you can get it very easily. So you simply have to use it as per your need. Over here itself, if you want to set new environment variable, definitely you can do it with this syntax itself. If you wanted a system info, like taking example, if you are enumerating the target and you want to know the system information like a hardware and everything about it, by this command you can do that. If you want any other command also to be get executed, you can do that, not a big deal. Now if I talk about this section, what are the type of process itself. So if you want to retrieve any process ID over there itself, then the process ID I can get that using this command. Okay, get the process ID of the current Python process. So if I'm just looking for the Python process ID, I can do that. Like in couple of cases, if you are aware about the metasploit, when we are taking when we are getting a meta session, we want to use the process ID, and that process ID I'm utilizing it just to upgrade my privileges. So using that, I will do that. So that's also one of the possibility. Instead of using a metasploit, also there are a couple of other ways also to do the same things. So that was the reason I'm telling you, like to get an identifier for a specified software, what's the process ID. Now going further with that, get the name of the operating system that we can get it. We required that to be enumerated at the time when we are running this. This I have already commented that I don't want this. This I'm getting the error as this is not a Linux machine. So when I'm running it, I'm getting the error. That as I earlier I have just tested this on a Linux machine on Ubuntu. I'm getting the appropriate stuff. So it's running fine for me. But at the time when I wanted, at the time of demonstration, I wanted that to be get reflect on a Windows machine. No, it will give the error. I don't want to do the same thing as I've already covered the host name on the top itself, and those things we can get it very easily. So I don't want to cover over here itself again and again. Now going further with that, if I want to join path component, I can do that very well itself. For both the section, I can combine it and get the directory name for the path. I can get it very easily. So these are the straightforward commands which I wanted you to go through it one by one, and this is the output. I think it's already created. Let me delete the file. One minute, let me delete the file. I think that is the reason behind it. I'm getting the error. Mm, yeah. So I've removed it. Let me close this once again, run it once again. And this is working. We are getting that result late as it's running this system info. So you can see by these commands itself we are getting all the results. So I'm checking the file, I'm just retrieving all things with that file directory over there itself. The path, system path, we are getting it very well. I told you, like, you can, if you're running with such a way, the couple of time you're getting that user directory name also over there. So like user directory name, like taking the attacker, administrator, like which user role the user is using it right now. Take example, if administrator is using it directly, so administrator, it's definitely having an administrator folder over there itself, and definitely when we are running it with this section itself, we are getting this slash user slash administrator or any other also. And it might be a possibility if a user is having only a view access, then that case definitely don't waste your time on this, just go for the another one. This is the environment details which we are getting it for it, and this is the actual concrete statement about the target itself. I'm getting it. This couple of things related to my, I don't want to disclose you. And this is the process ID, operating system related details. These are the files, whether it's club, it get it clubbed itself to get it join command. This is a directory name, I'm getting it. That's it. So I hope you are able to understand the whole code, which I just want to make you understand with all four codes itself, with the concept which I've tried to get it covered. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel. I want you to provide your feedback in all the videos itself which I have built it so far. Most probably by the end of next week we are concluding with this series itself, and it might be possibility few projects are remaining over there. So I'll just make one series. I'm planning to make one series of 10 videos where I'll just build only the project itself. So don't worry about it if we are not building any project. I want to cover the concepts first. Exercises I'll just try to get it covered in this at the closer of this complete series. Project I'll take it separately, or 10 videos of it I'll try to make it that separately, so that you can able to understand all 10 to 15 or 20 videos of the project. So I'll try to make that. I'll go with all the zones itself, so that you can get all the concepts behind it and make those codes projects and get it reflected on your resume. If you're a fresher, you can tell that these are the things you have built it from the scratch. Don't go with the code itself, which always I'm telling you, like, don't go with the code itself. Don't do mug up it. Try to understand the concept by that way, so you can utilize. Like, no one asks you to know each and everything related to the Python. Even I'm not aware about each and everything about it. But the thing is that you should know the concept behind it. Like, if anyone is putting any concept in front of you, like anyone is putting a problem statement in front of you, then in that case you will have to recall that stuff which you have learned it, and know like how to get it utilized. I can solve this problem. That is the main motive behind it. Okay, so thank you so much once again. Take care. Bye bye.